Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway. We're here live tonight for 300 miles, 120 laps, make up the season opener for the Premier Race Network. I'm Andy Kessler. Joining me in the production, bringing the picture that you see on your screen is Avery McDonald. Joining us hopefully soon will be my co-host, Ben Kilcrease. But in the meantime, we are here live tonight at Daytona International Speedway for an exciting race. Some Cup cars are at it again. The new season is upon us, and we are ready to get things going here tonight.
Yeah, with the first race coming up here at Daytona, these Premier Racing Network guys are getting ready to get back onto the track and start off, try to get to a good start. So we'll be pretty excited here at this Super Speedway where we just watched Daytona 500 a little bit earlier.
That's right, we did. So far tonight, 30 cars have taken qualifying time as cars now are on track trying to get that qualifying time. It looks like we got about 41 cars that actually came into the field, so this is going to be an exciting event here tonight. Tons of machines, tons of horsepower, and an exciting event we have on our hands tonight. I'd like to thank our race sponsor here tonight, Canal Fulton PC. They offer many services for both the home and small business in Stark, Summit, and Wayne counties there in Ohio, and even further, specializing in supporting the small businesses that are often overlooked by overpriced IT companies. Head on over there to CanalFultonPC.com.
Yeah, it should be a good event. Last season's Daytona 300 was fantastic, so we're pretty excited here. We get a good race under our belt for the first race at the Premier Race Network.
Yeah, these cars definitely put on a great show here. We've done many broadcasts at this track. One thing that's definitely going to play into effect tonight is the draft. We see it all the time whenever we come to these plate tracks. The tango, especially with these open setups, these cars are going to have to find that car that you can trust, that driver you can trust, that's going to make the right moves at the right time, Avery. And it's just, if you don't, it can be in for a rough night, to say the least, especially when it comes to those green flag pit stops, if we happen to have some.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going to get that green flag pit stop, you want to make sure you go in with the partner you're working with, so you don't get caught in the draft. Right now, Kevin Winter, he's ahead of Brad Walsh on the fastest lap by 0.002 seconds. Remind you, this is group qualifying, so all the drivers are out there as a group trying to get the fastest lap as they can field tonight's Daytona 300.
Now you can tell those guys have been working together. They're sitting on the top right now. They're working together in this qualifying effort, so it'll be interesting to watch, see if we can see those guys get hooked up early on, especially in the start 1 and 2 here, and who's going to let who in front of each other here in the opening laps here. Qualifying just about to be set. Got about 30 more seconds to run through the qualifying, and once these guys are done, we'll run you through the starting order. And we'll do that. We'll pause for a few seconds, and we'll be right back with the starting lineup.
Now we're going to go through.
car. We're getting ready to grid here for the opening race of 2015 for the Premier Race Network. What an exciting night we have here tonight. 300 miles, 120 laps going to make up this exciting race here at Daytona International Speedway. We're going to run you through the starting lineup for tonight's race. Starting on the pole with a fast time of 43.628 is the 22 of Kevin Winter. To his outside in the 88, just 1/1000th off his time with a 43.629. That's Brad Walsh. Row number 2, in the number 2 on the inside will be Frank Soppet. To his outside in the number 711 will be Fred Scafari. Row number 3 on the inside will be the 25 of Tom McAllister. To his outside in the 36 will be Jeffrey Smith. Row number 4 on the inside, number 60, Brian Rainville. And to his outside in the number 3 is Craig White. Mike Costa driving the number 6 will start 9th tonight. And to his outside will be the 26 of Timothy Wallace. Stephen Benjamin in the 94 was going to roll off in the 11th. And to his outside in the 51 is John Hammer. Brian Warfield, he's going to start on the inside of row number 7 in that 00 machine. And the outside of him will be the 48 of Kevin Linden. Jack Watts, the number 77, is going to start 15th, 16th. To his outside, and the number 97 is Sam Karupus, starting 17th. On the inside of row number 9 is the number 300 of J. Paul Jones. And to his outside in the 11 will be Mark Monetary. Mike Collini in the number 09 will roll off 19th. And to his outside will be the number 99 of George Gallen. Blair Stephenson, he's going to roll off 21st, 22nd. Sutherland. The 68 of Jeffrey Breton is going to roll off 23rd. 24th will be Richard Stallings. Roll number 13 will be the 33 of Greg Elliott, who's also our in-race reporter tonight. And to his outside, 52 will be Brent Lay. The 42 of Ed Schneeva, he's going to roll off 27. 28th is going to be John Frischling Jr. Craig Hawkins in the 15-3, he's going to start 29th, and 30th will be Andrew Lutz in the 4. The last car to take qualifying will be the number 63 of Chris Ostrander. He's going to start 31st. Chuck Sweeting is going to be 32nd. Jeff Hollingsworth 33rd. 34th will be Tim Phillips. Ned Adams will roll off 35th. Wayne Grass will roll off 36th. 37th will be Mark Mosnu. Jake Champion will roll off 38th, 39th to Pat McWhorter. Stacy Scott will roll off 40th, Michael Adams 41st, and Curlin Andrew will round out the field here 42nd. 42 cars getting set to make things happen here at Daytona. We're getting set to get this thing underway here as the pace car now looks down to pit road. He's getting ready to make his sharp left-hand turn. There he is, green flags in the air, and we're racing here at Daytona for the season opener of the Premier Race Network. Kevin Winter, he's going to have that bottom line working for him at the moment. A little bit of help from Frank Soppitz. That's going to give him the push, get him out to the lead. The high line had a little bit of trouble getting going there. That 88, he's all the way dropped back down to 4th. He's now still fighting for that 3rd spot. That's with the 25 of Tom McAllister.
Yeah, these drivers are trying to go, they're side by side on second on back, but they're going to try to get into a line for 120 laps here at Daytona. So we're just going to sit and wait. See who they can work with.
That's right, the 7-Eleven of Fred Scafari. He's giving the 88 a push. They're starting to make a run back towards the front right now as they hit the tri-oval, but it looks like Kevin Winter's going to lead that first lap as they come down into turn number 1 for the second time tonight. Frank Soppit, though, he's still trying to hold on to that bumper of Kevin Winter, still giving him that push right now. They're side-by-side for second, and they're side-by-side for 4th. Really getting right on the back bumper right now, and Kevin Soppert, as we're on board with him right now, as he's giving Kevin Winter a push to the front. They're starting to separate themselves a little bit. That high line really not going anywhere at the time being. They're single file on the bottom, though. The top 5 now are starting to spread their wings a little bit here as they come to the tri-oval again. We're just completing lap number 2.
One thing to look out for, a lot of guys here are experienced super speedway racers, and they're going to find out who can they can work with. You see they're single file through 1 and 2. Only got a couple cars on the outside. Number 88, Brad Walsh, who has a pretty good setup with the 711. Fred Scarfy going to try to work on the outside.
Trying to make that outside work. They actually get a little loose there on the backside, on the back straightaway there as they try to drop down in line. Right now, the top 5, 6 guys right now, single file. It's that battle for 7th and 8th right now. That the Craig White on the outside with his 711, Fred Scafari, they're side by side right now. But it looks like Craig White now trying to dive in line now. Now they're all single file.
Yeah, these guys are single file. They're going to sit and wait. They're going to get about the first 15, 20 laps in, going to do a little battling, and then they're going to just try to see where they're at, see what that car can do.
At a first side-by-side battle we got to look for is all the way back to 13th right now, the 48 of Kevin Linden, but now he's going to drop in line right now. That's a 00, excuse me, of Brian Warfield that he just dropped in behind. So now here we go, single file, top 13. Linden actually now going to poke his nose to the outside there. That's a battle for 13th.
Yeah, these guys they're battling. They're going to see where they can be, where they feel good at. So, you know, a super speedway, it is a crapshoot, like they would say on a lot of the forum posts, but you still got to have some skill to be good at the super speedway.
Oh, you do. These cars, when you get on the back end of a guy, you're really giving them that push. That front car has a tendency to want to walk a little bit, get a little bit loose, and if you don't have ultimate car control, it doesn't take much for these things to get spun around here, especially at these speeds that these guys are racing at. Right now, over 200 miles an hour as they head down the back straightaway. Some real serious speed we got going on.
Yeah, one thing about this series in the Premier Race Network, these guys run with no resets, open setup. So you're not gonna see very much wrecking going on, most likely in the beginning of the race, because everybody's gonna want to just try to keep the car clean as they try to win this Daytona 300. Brought to you by Canal.
That's right. The top looks like 8 now, all the way back to Fred Scafari. That's the top 7. They're actually nose to tail right now. A little bit of separation back to Craig White. Almost about half a second back to him. But these top guys now, once you get in that draft, you just kind of got to hang there. You don't want to make that bold move here early on. Tons and tons of time to go. Lots of miles still left to go here at Daytona. So you don't want to be that. You don't want to be that guy that ends up in the wall and have your night ended rather early here at the Super Speedway.
Yeah, we're going to go on board with Greg Elliott. He is our in-race reporter. Greg Elliott driving number 33 Cheerios Chevrolet for Wolfpack Racing.
Now we're on board with him right now. He's just kind of in line with everybody else, sitting 22nd right now. He actually started 25th, so he's moved up a couple spots here in the early going. But this isn't the typical track where you got to run on a guy, you get around him, you move on to the next guy. You rely so heavily on the draft here at Daytona International Speedway and any of the restricted play races that you're on your own. You got to either find a guy that's going to push you to the front, or you got to push somebody to the front. Right now, it's just too early to get that going here. We got at least make it to that first green flag pit stop.
Yeah, I also would like to thank GSRC for supplying the cameras. Doug Beard and the guys have done a fantastic job, so got them in our description if you want to check them out. Go to the forums on iRacing under cameras and download them and give them a big shout out.
Absolutely, some wonderful camera shots you're going to have for you all night long here tonight as they head back down the super stretch here in the backstretch here at Daytona. Top 6 guys now are starting to pull away. The tail end of that pack is Brad Walsh in the 88. He's now separated himself from Fred Scafari. He's actually side by side with Craig White just behind these guys. That's the closest battle we got going on right now. Just behind these guys are starting to stack up again behind the 3 car.
Yeah, we also want to thank Mark Montanari, who's the owner of the Sim Racing Setup Analyzer. Go ahead and check them out. And the link
we got
will...
contact. We got a car in the wall. We got one down in the grass He's heading into turn number 1. It looks like it's a 6 of Mike Costa. He's back up the track, and he takes a couple more out. Caution on the Speedway. Our first caution here on lap number 9, and it's a big one.
Saw Fred Scarfy get involved in that. We're going to try to get us a replay of what happened there.
A little bit of contact made right through the tri-oval. Wasn't much, just a little bit, and we talked about it with these high speeds. Just a little bit was all it was needed. 6 car ended up getting turned down once he got into that grass. You know how it is, man. You have absolutely no control of that car, and he just ended up coming back up the track into a bunch of guys, and unfortunate for a few people early on here.
Yeah, I know Fred Scarfy was involved in the car that was going through the grass. He really had nothing he could do because you're in the grass, and that's how it's just kind of what happens.
Yeah, that was the number 6 of Mike Costa, unfortunately, in the grass. He had it saved, made a nice save to keep it straight, but just unfortunate. Once you hit that grass, there's nothing he could do. Just hang on to it, hang on for the ride, and hopefully everybody dodges you. But unfortunately, some guys were there, especially early on in a run like this, when they're not, they're spread out, but they're not spread out, and you're going that fast. There's nothing you can do, and a bunch of guys just end up piling right into them.
Yeah, once you get loose here in that pack, you're going to see that accident sometimes. And, lap 10, which you see Fred Scarfy in the pits right now. Too bad for him. Not quite sure if he'll be able to make it back out or if he's just going to stay there. Take a look at that beautiful commitment cone.
Yeah, one guy's already taken it behind the wall for the remainder of this one. That's 51 of John Hammer, so he's going to be the first one. Pit road's open. Doesn't look like much of any of our leaders are heading down. They're going to stay out. Haven't ran that much, so you don't want to give up your track position, get caught back up in a mess like we just saw. So smart move by a lot of the front runners. They're going to stay out here.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can take a look at Greg Elliott's car and try to bring him down here for an interview. All right, we got Greg Elliott up in the booth.
Greg Elliott, Andy, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Well, so far, you start 25th. You made your way up into the low 20s there, moved up a couple spots. How's the car feeling out there tonight?
Car feels okay. Everybody was just riding, taking our time, logging laps. Nobody was really making, huge moves, and then all of a sudden, somebody shot down in the grass towards turn 1 there, and it was just really hairy. You were really lucky to get through that.
Yeah, a couple cars just made a little bit of contact there in the tri-oval, and like once you get into that grass, you really have no control over that car, and that was it once you started coming back up in the track. So good thing you missed out. You were able to dodge that one, at least the first one here, and simple mistake, one little simple bump, and that's all it takes, and you got a bunch of cars out now. So strategy from here forward, try to just survive, or you want to move up forward more and get maybe more towards the front?
There's so much of this race left. I'm just wanting to ride around and see where we can get.
There you go. Well, good luck the rest of the way, and we'll probably speak with you a little bit later.
All right, 10-4.
So there he is. There's Greg Elliott, our in-race reporter here tonight, making his way through the field, able to dodge that first wreck, the 6 car, Mike Costa, getting into that grass, and really pretty much just unable to keep it under control, end up back up into the track, take out a few other drivers. So a bunch of guys actually calling it quits, already pulling it behind the wall. John Hammer, he's one of them. Mike Costa, too much damage on that machine. Looked like he was smoking pretty bad after that wreck, so he's pulled it behind the wall. He's going to call it a night. So a couple early exits for some guys, a bunch of guys on pit road getting some damage fixed. Not sure how fast it'll be once this thing gets going, but you got to get out, log some laps, get some points. Season opener here for the Premier Racing Network.
Yeah, for sure. You see Greg Elliott up into the 13th position. I know he's teammates with Fred Scarfy, who was involved, and then also with Chris Ostrander, the number 63. So one of my teammates a little bit on another league got run in, but hate to see that happen for a lot of those drivers who have are pretty fast. But Kevin Winter's still out in front. He's led all 11 laps.
Yeah, he has led all the laps so far. Looks like Craig Hawkins has actually pulled it behind the wall also, so that's another driver out. Unfortunately, I have a lot of guys that, a couple guys that are laps down right now, a couple other guys that have already pulled it behind the wall, so it's a tough break for a lot of guys early on here, as we're about to complete lap number 12 here. About 108 laps still left to run here at Daytona. Lots of time, just like we heard Greg Elliott say. So much time. Got to log some laps. Got to just get in the rhythm, get in the groove, and just go. And try to avoid things like what we just saw there on the front stretch that last time by. Just a simple little wiggle, slight contact, and at these speeds, it doesn't take much, and we just saw that firsthand. So the field gets the one to go. We're starting to get them to stack up here, 2 by 2. Kevin Winter, of course, is your leader. He's going to choose the inside. Frank Soppet, he's going to go up there on the outside. It looks like Tom McAllister, he's going to restart third. Fourth will be Brian Rainville. Jeffrey Smith in the 36, he's going to restart fifth. Sixth will be Craig White. Seventh will be Steve Benjamin. Eighth will be Jack Watts. Ninth will be J. Paul Jones. And rounding out the top 10 will be the 26th, Timothy Wallace. A couple guys moving up the field, deciding to stay out there in that last round of stops. Started 35th was Ned Adams. He's going to restart 11th, so it's good for him. Get some track position here early on. And Mark Mousseau, he's going to do the same. He started 38th, so move him up. He's going to restart 12th here as the field gets ready to get back going as they make their way through turns 3 and 4. Take this second to recognize another wonderful sponsor here, PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Mike Collini, a great job that he does over there with that organization. Visit him over there at pad.org. Pace car now turns down left. Green flag is in the air. And we're racing at the bottom line. Looks like Kevin Winter gets a good jump on that restart there. He's going to pull away. A couple car lengths now over Frank Soppin on that outside lane. Looks like they almost grazed the wall right there with a little help from Brian Rainville as they head back into turn number 1. It looks like the top 3 now, single file.
Yeah, top 3 single file. They're going to try to work their way, try to get a little gap between about the mid pack, so you can start working your way around here. We're cranking it up right now here on iRacing. Once again, check out iRacing.com for more information about the simulator. We're going to be going on board with Brian Rainville. As you see, he's trying to push on the inside.
We're going to go back on board right now with Brian Rainville as he's now caught the bumper of Kevin Winter, excuse me. He starts to push him and tries to make that bottom line just go. On the outside, though, Frank Soppin with a little bit of help from Craig Wright. They're trying to make their move here on the outside lane. We hadn't seen that outside lane do much in that first run, but here they are right now. That bottom line, though, real tough to beat. Shortest way around here, so unless you get a real good push on that high side, it's going to be tough to get around these guys. As right now, Tom McAllister, he's trying to get in there also into the mix here as he runs 4th.
Yeah, these drivers are starting to single file. We got a car on the apron. Not quite sure who that one was. But these guys are battling side by side right now for the 3rd and 4th position, respectfully. There's a little bit of a gap between the number 26 of Timothy Wallace and Steve Benjamin.
Steve Benjamin is afraid he doesn't want to lose the draft to that top group right now. Looks like he's trying to get a little bit of help from J. Paul Jones here as they come off of turn number 4. The side-by-side battle, though, that's Soppin on the outside. That's a battle for that 5th position. He has it right now, but the 77 of Jack Watts wants it. Here they come now on the high side with a big run down the front stretch. But it looks like they're going to stall out here. Is Craig White still giving that Highline a shot as he's pushing Frank Soppet around this racetrack. That bottom line, though, Kevin Winter, he's looking real tough here on that inside line with the help of Brian Rainville and, of course, the 25 of Tom McAllister. And you got to throw in a mix there. Jeffrey Smith, he's trying to make it happen. Has a huge run now on the outside as they head back into turn number 3.
One thing we'll take a look at is trying to get on the outside lane. These guys are driving pretty aggressive here. On lap number 17, take a look at Greg Elliott on the ticker in 8th position. He is our in-race reporter.
Greg Elliott making his move, trying to get up front. He said just a moment ago in a little interview that he wants to ride, just wants to log laps. There's tons and tons of time left, and he's right where he needs to be, though, right in that top 12 right now, running 12th. He started 25th, so hopefully he can keep himself out of trouble and get back up to the front here. Now we got to move the 25 of Tom McAllister. He jumps out in front of Soppet. He's going to try to make that high line work here with these guys. Now 3 cars going to try to make the high line work in turns number 3 and 4. McAllister, though, only able to get up to the rear bumper of the 60 machine of Brian Rainville. Not too much help right now. He's trying to get that draft working on the high side. Only 3 cars there on the outside trying to make it happen. So far, it's not been enough here. You really got to get right up on that bumper, get tucked under there, and really give him a push. Off of turn number 2 now, the side-by-side actions, the 25 of Tom McAllister. He's on the outside, the 36, the Jeffrey Smith, he's on the inside. Here comes Soppet now. He's up under the bumper of the 25 machine. He's trying to give him a real good push as they head back into turn number 3. Not going to happen. Going to stall out just a bit now. But when 77 gets loose there, he might have hit the apron. Jack Watts, he moves up to the high side now. That's going to open up the bottom lane. Timothy Wallace is coming through, and here comes Steve Benjamin.
Yeah, these guys are pretty much single file, just for a couple stragglers on the outside lane. You're going to try to make a little spots work. So we're trying to get the lead, but once again, Kevin Winter still leading this race, lap 19.
Caution a little bit further back there in turns 1 and 2. A bunch of slow cars trying to figure out who it was and what happened here.
We'll see if we can get an instant replay. Looks like Wayne Grassi was involved in that incident.
Yep, 99 got in the wall there, but it looks like one car just got loose. Maybe got a little bit of help. Looks like the double zero machine of Brian Warfel. That's where it all started right there. He was on that high side, just literally got loose all on his own, spun around and ended up taking out a couple other cars in a big wreck here on lap number 20.
Once again, Greg Elliott ahead of that incident, and we'll try to get you to see who was else involved in that incident. We're going to see if we can bring down our leader, Kevin Winter. We're going to let them make their pit decision, which I assume most of these guys will be making that decision into pit.
Yeah, Kevin Winter didn't pit. Most of the top guys did not pit on that first go-around. Waiting for the pace car to catch up to him here. Yeah, most of these top guys did not pit that first time on our first caution there on lap number 9. So we're here working caution number 2 here at Daytona International Speedway. 300 miles make up to tonight's event. We just crossed the threshold there. We've got 100 to go. Pit road's open, and here come the leaders.
We got one staying out. Looks like that's at number 26, and Timothy Wallace. He's going to take over the lead, get that lap led.
Not a bad deal to take that now while you can. A few guys staying out. See what these guys are going to do. Sometimes tires don't make a difference here, but with the handling, with the open setups, you see a lot of guys take 4 tires. It looks like Kevin Winter's actually going to take 2. Right side's only filling up with fuel, and he's back out. Take a short little timeout here. You're gonna hear silence in the booth for about a minute. We're gonna let the field cycle through, get all their pit stops out, let iRacing get its scoring all situated, because it takes about a lap and a half for them to figure it out. But when that happens, we'll come back. We'll give you a real rundown of who's where, and we'll get this thing ready to get back green flag racing here at Daytona. All right, we're back here, Daytona International Speedway, for the season opener for the Premier Race Network. 300 miles make up tonight's opening race of the season. We're going to talk to driver who's led most of this race here up along Kevin Winter. This is Andy up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Well, Kevin, you stayed out in that first round, only 10 laps on those tires. You're leading a bunch of laps. How's the car feel tonight?
It feels pretty good. Pretty quick here, just riding around and trying to stay out of trouble here and try to stay up front for most of this race.
Well, to stay out of trouble, staying up front is probably a really good idea. And on that pit stop right there, obviously 20 laps into it, decided to come in. You took only right side tires. Now you only got two guys in front of you. They decided to stay out, so you're still up front. Strategy going forward, like you said, stay out of trouble. You want to lead the most here. Stay up front, stay out of trouble, and so far you're doing that here tonight.
Yeah, for sure, bud.
Is there anyone in particular you've been talking with, or a teammate that you just you want to work with all night long here?
Right now, no. We're just, like it says, riding around. I'm not sure who's going to be left. We might lose a few guys here yet, so we'll see in the last 20 laps who I get hooked up with and who works well.
I hear you. Well, when there's not many laps left, there's not many friends either on the racetrack, so we'll see what happens here. But good luck to you the rest of the way.
All right, bud. Thanks.
That's Kevin Winter. He's sitting third right now. I'll give you a little rundown. Your leader right now, the 26, is Timothy Wallace. He stayed out on that last round of pit stops here under caution. The 300 of J. Paul Jones, he's going to restart second. Kevin Winter, we just talked to, he's going to restart third. Fourth will be Brian Rainville. Jeffrey Smith will be fifth. Sixth will be Tom McAllister. Craig White's going to restart seventh. Chris Ostrander, who started 31st, now finds himself going to start eighth here on this restart. Frank Soppit's going to restart 9th, and 10th will be the 77 of Jack Watts. About to, when we take the green, we're going to complete lap number 24. Just under 100 laps still remaining here at Daytona International Speedway. Lots of time for things to go wrong, and lots of time for things to go right. Our throw out there too, our in-race reporter right now, Greg Elliott, he's going to restart 16th. Actually, looks like things haven't cycled back around here. He's going to actually restart, it looks like 8th here for the 33 of Greg Elliott. I'm sure we got a little update here for Irie. Like I said just a moment ago, it takes them a little while to figure out who's running where, but I see him right now, 8th on the board as the field comes off of turn number 4. Pace car is going to get ready to turn left. And there goes. Pace cars off. Green flags in the air. And we're racing again here at Daytona. Highline. Not a good jump for the 25 of Tom McAllister. He's going to lose a little bit of ground right now. Craig White's going to try to take that position away from him on the bottom side.
We did get one car into the grass onto the restart. It looks like that would be either Richard Stallings or... Yeah, it looks like it was Richard Stallings that was involved in that incident.
We stay green though here at Daytona as the field now hits the back straightaway. Everybody now has dropped down to that bottom line except for the 300 of J. Paul Jones. He's actually stuck on the outside all by himself. Nobody even wants to help. He stayed out there. Restarted second. He's dropping like a rock right now. He's all the way back to 10th as the leaders come off of turn number 4 and down to the trial. Well, Timothy Wallace getting a lot of help from Kevin Winter, who was leading here early on, and now the number 36 of Jeffrey Smith, he finds himself in second, or in third, excuse me, and a little bit of separation back to fourth with Brian Rainville. You'd like to think they will. So it looks like they're going to get hooked up here on the outside lane right now, and that's in the 7th position. They're going to try to work their way right up to the front. Elliott backed off just a little bit right now, and the cars get a little bit loose there through the trial. You can actually see them just walk up the track there, especially on that bottom line. A couple guys now below the line trying to gather themselves in here. Looks like a lot of guys affected by an ill-handling car here early on. This is definitely not a place you don't want a car that will not handle, as the outside lane still having trouble trying to even get by the 25 of Tom McAllister. That's Ostrander. He's in the 63, and he's trying to get help from Greg Elliott here as they come down into turn number 3. It's a good party. It's good victory lane beer is what it is. '63 Ostrander got loose there into turn number 1, got into the 33 of Greg Elliott, and they Elliott got into the wall, and then that was it. We'll see if he's going to have to, we stay green, he's going to have to come down pit road and probably get some right side damage fixed. But yeah, tough break for those guys trying to make that outside work, but just got a little bit loose there. Now we got a battle for the lead here shaping up. The 36 of Jeffrey Smith. He's pushing Winter back to the lead. They're going to get him cleared there as they head down into turn number 1. That's going to drop Timothy Wallace back to 3rd. And the 60 of Brian Rainville, he's going to fall back in line here in 4th. Down the back straightaway, top 6 now nose to tail. The 77 of Jack Wantz and the 300 of J. Paul Jones now trying to stay in touch with the lead pack. They are doing that. Here comes Soppet in the number 2. He's running 9th. He's brought in Linden, and he's brought in, it looks like Mark Mosso. He brought him into the reins. Top 11 now, single files. They head back into turn number 1. A lot of wiggling I see going on here tonight. A lot of cars on the loose side. Kevin Linden now, he's on the outside, way back there in 10th spot, trying to get somebody to work with him. Looks like the 17 is going to maybe think about it, but now he's going to drop back in line here. That's going to push Linden all the way to the back with no help. Front pack looking real nice, real smooth. There comes. Now somebody's trying to make a move. That's a 4 spot at number 60 of Brian Rainville. He's going to fall back in line. Looked like he was going to go for a minute there. Craig White was ready to go with him as the field starts to now bunch back up here as they go back into turn number 3. Now Kevin Linden's going to get a little bit of help. That looks like the 66 of Ned Adams. He's going to now give him a big push here off of turn number 4. Now here comes Kevin Linden on the outside, trying to make that outside line work. Oh, we got a car loose to 77. He's into the 48 of Kevin Linden. That's in turn number 1. Jack Watts. Caution is going to be out. Looks like 77 of Jack Watts just got into the apron there, Avery. And then once you do that, it's better hang on to that thing. And he wasn't able to corral that. And he, some collateral damage. Some guys went with him, and that was the 48 of Kevin Linden. Unfortunate for him. .300 was involved. The 2 of, wow, 2 ended up on his lid. Frank Sopp running strong all night long, and he finds himself involved in this one too.
Yeah, it looks like he was just going in the corner, just got loose. He might have had a little bit of damage from before. Not quite sure what helped involve that crash. Oh, take a look at that 63 get through that incident. I'm not quite sure how he made it through.
Barely.
He was just kind of holding the gas and holding the brake at the same time. Got a little nervous. Well,
that's going to take a few more guys out of this field, unfortunately, here tonight.
Yeah, you see Kevin Winter, he's still out. He got up to the front. He's going to be leading this race. This is lap 33, so they've only been out there for about 11 laps. About 10, 11 laps, so.
No, I think he'll stay out.
I think
he did it last time on the 10-lap run. He stayed out for another 10 laps at least. So we'll see what he does here. But pit road will be open this time for the leaders.
Yeah, our in-race supporter Greg Elliott, he's just kind of chilling in the pits right now. He's been in the pits for about 11 minutes. So
looks like our first taker is going to be Timothy Wallace. He did not pit on that last pit stop there in lap number 20, so he's going to come down now, get some tires, get some fuel. Kevin Winter's going to stay out along with the 36 of Jeffrey Smith. Lap machines, getting a wave around it by everybody. These guys, I don't know what's. It seems that's the second or third guy. It's probably only the second caution for, but to actually just drive into turn number 1 and get real loose like that, product of the. It could be a product of the wind, maybe gust of wind, the loose race cars. It could be a lot of factors going into that here.
Yeah, definitely. I know I've driven a couple setups. If you were in the draft behind someone, it would get loose on you. But it's a fast setup that I was working with, so that might be the case of what might be going on.
There's a slight bit of wind here coming out of the north, so that could have a little bit of something to do with it. But yeah, that's a couple guys now that we've seen just really kind of just lose it on their own. So and you typically don't see that here at Daytona, and but then again, this place has seen a lot of funny things happen.
Yeah, right now we got quite a bit of cars still. It looks like out of the race. Greg Elliott actually is back out here. We'll see if we can get a quick look at what he's looking like since he is our in-race reporter.
That was a tough break for him. He was trying to help the 63 of Chris Ostrander, and they were trying to make that high side work, and Ostrander just got loose. It was like going into the turn 1 like we've just been talking about, and he got loose. ended up coming back up the track and getting into Greg Elliott. So that kind of ended their night, at least their competitiveness here tonight. That's going to end up costing them. But a lot of guys, Kevin Linden now, the 48, he's pulled it behind the wall. He was involved in this most recent accident. Curlin Andrew, Jack Watts, they've all pulled it behind the wall. We got, looks like about 18, we'll let iRacing score this out, but it looks like about 18 cars still going to be on the lead lap here. We had 42 start the race. They're dropping like flies, Avery.
Yeah, dropping like flies, and I don't think it's because of the driver's talent. These drivers are very talented in what they do, but you get 42 cars out here, definitely on an online server. Wrecks are gonna happen. I mean, just kind of have to go with that. As we are on lap 35, going to lap 36, most likely going to be 2 laps to go at the line, or 1 to go at the line.
And we'll see if the lights go off on the pace cars. The field comes through the tri-oval now. Give you a quick rundown here how these guys are going to stack back up here and get ready to go back to racing. Kevin Winter, he is your leader. The field's going to start stacking up here. Jeffrey Smith's going to restart second. Brian Rainville third. Fourth will be Craig White. He's slowly and methodically worked his way up to the top here. Tom McAllister, he's going to restart fifth. Steve Benjamin will start sixth. Seventh to Stacy Scott. Eighth will be Timothy Wallace. Mark Monetary, he's going to restart ninth. And 10th to Pat McWhorter. Chuck Sweeting, haven't talked much about him here tonight in the 62. He's going to restart 11th. Mike Collini, we haven't talked much about him either. He's going to restart 16th here. He's kind of just minded his own business all race long here. Looks like Greg Elliott's back on track here, so our in-race reporter back on track, but he's 4 laps down, so he's got a ways to go. A few more cautions, he might find himself maybe getting a couple of those laps back.
Hey, it looks like Chris Ostrander, driver with number 63, has got out of his car and looks like he's going to be parking it for the night.
Yep, he just pulled it behind the wall, so he's done. It's another spot for somebody if they can keep their cars going in the right direction.
And he has left the TeamSpeak server, so that's going to let us know that he's no longer here.
All right, the field's stacking up now, 2 by 2. Coming off of turn number 4, we're going to get back to racing here. 36 laps are going to be in the books. Going to work number 37. Here's the pace car now. Looks to pit road. Green flag is back in the air. Kevin Winters back on the gas. But on the outside, Jeffrey Smith able to hang with him here on the restart. It hasn't happened all night long. Craig White now is going to drop in behind the 60 of Brian Rainville. That's going to leave the 94, Steve Benjamin, there on the outside all by himself for the time being here. There's Jeffrey Smith trying to hang on there. Not going to happen, though. Brian Rainville is getting right on the back bumper of Kevin Winter. That's going to push him forward. Jeffrey Smith trying to get back in line. Craig White didn't leave him any room. Now he's stuck on the outside all by himself. That's a battle for third as they head back into turn 3.
These guys are going to start to go a little more single file after those last couple of cautions. And those cautions were just from, getting a little loose on the corners. It's got to be a little extra patient as we continue here at Daytona.
Kevin Winter trying to break the draft right now. Went way to the high side, now back to the bottom. As a hanging tough. I'm really surprised that 36 car there hanging tough on that outside all by himself. Side drafting with the 60 all the way down the front stretch. That's going to keep him up in that second spot, but maybe not for long here. He's still not getting anybody to jump out there and take the risk to give him any help on that outside lane.
Yeah, he's just going to try to drive that Havoline Ford Fusion to the front. But with no help, it's likely not going to happen.
No help, but I'll give him credit for what he's doing, though. I'll tell you this. Most guys would already be back to about the 10th or 15th spot right now, but he's hanging in there with that side draft, doing a heck of a job. with that machine right now. He's battling Craig White now. That's for the third spot. They're side by side. The rest of the field's pretty much strung out, single file. At this point, it almost seems like survival mode, the way these cars have been dropping out. We haven't had really any single or two-car wrecks. They've been multiple car wrecks, so a lot of guys have dropped out of this race fairly early on here tonight.
Yeah, we still have 20 cars on the lead lap, but two of those cars are 24 seconds or worse. And in the pack, we have top 16, or 2.6 seconds back of the leader. That's pretty much who's on the lead lap here. First car a lap down is Jeff Fershing Jr. But soon to be, Jeff Hollingsworth 35.8 seconds away. Most likely will go a lap down.
Well, now Jeffrey Smith's starting to fall back. He's going to try to jump back in line here behind Timothy Wallace. He's able to. Give him credit for hanging out there as long as he did, but now he's going to fall back in line. He's going to be scored in that 6th position. Steve Benjamin holding tough there in 7th. As the field now comes off of turn number 4, nobody really making a move right at the moment right now, but they're all in single file as they head through this tri-oval once again. You can see the cars moving a lot as they go through the tri-oval into turn number 1. It's going to be a problem here. We're going to have to keep an eye on that all night long. All of our wrecks have pretty much been in the tri-oval or in 1 or 2.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to be careful there. These guys are working hard to try to get around number 60. You see Brian Rainville, who's just been chilling behind Kevin Winter pretty much the whole race. We've had 2 leaders in this race so far. That's Kevin Winter and Timothy Wallace, number 26.
Kevin Winter's been definitely the class of the field here tonight, paving the way for all these guys right now. As a 60 car now, he's peeking out a little bit, but not really wanting to make that move. He's probably just wants to ride. Here comes the 36 now. He's making a move on the outside. Wow, what a rocket ship he had. That's Jeffrey Smith. He went right around Timothy Wallace like he was standing still. I don't know if Timothy Wallace had to get out of the throttle or what, but he just lost a lot of ground right there. A big gap now after 5th place, the 25 that is of Tom McAllister.
Yeah, pretty much single file. We might be getting an outside lane moving. That's the number 84, Pat McWhorter, one of the admins here at the Premier Racing Network.
Side by side still for 3rd place as they head into turn number 1. That's Craig White on the bottom side. Jeffrey Smith still hanging in there with the side draft on the outside lane. Off at turn number 2, he's still going to find himself on the outside all by himself. No help. The 60 now giving a big push to Kevin Winter. He's giving a real big push, but they're not able to really pull away from the rest of the field. So the draft is not really playing to effect like I would think it would here with the 2-car tango, but these guys are definitely starting to pull themselves away from that 6th place position right now as the 36 of Jeffrey Smith now falls back in line. He's going to be scored 5th. Pretty sizable gap, about half a second back to the 6th place. That's the 26 of Timothy Wallace, and he's leading that 2nd pack of cars.
I tell you one thing, coming to the finish line, well, there's one guy I do not want to be battling with, and that's Jeffrey Smith, because he knows how to make that side draft work, and if you're one-on-one, he's going to fly right around you.
Yeah, he is going to be one car to watch here as this race goes on, especially in the closing laps. The 2nd pack now, though, staying single file, they're able to start now gaining in on these top 5 guys.
Want to give a big shout out to All Pro Racing. Michael D'Amico has done a couple broadcasts, I believe, for the Premier Racing Network. So big shout out to him. I see he's on the YouTube chat.
Love to interact with people during the races. Like to know what they think as this thing moves along. Who's going to make the move? Who's going to do what? What type of strategy can be played in a race like this? Such a long race here at Daytona. Lots of time in a car to sit there and think of what you want to do.
Looks like Jeff Hollingsworth about to go a lap down.
Yeah, Hollingsworth in danger of being that lap down. The only good thing for him here is he's, as the field starts to catch him here, turn number 1, looks like he's going to stay to the high side and let these guys go around him on the bottom. But so we got another lap car up here. Might even be pushing it to go 3 wide here in a momentarily.
Yeah, Hollingsworth, one of the veterans here at the Premier Race Network. He's been with the league for about a year, I believe. So I'm pretty excited to see him out here racing. Another guy to give a big shout out to, who's in the 13th position. That's last season's champion, Chuck Sweeting.
Yeah, we haven't talked much about him. He started 32nd. He's sitting there 13th right now, just kind of biding his time. And I'm sure if we talk to him, that's exactly what we want to do, is just log some laps. And when it's go time, it'll be go time. But there's 56 now there. That's Jeff Hollingsworth. He falls in line now. So I don't know if there's too much damage to his car or not, but he's able to, looks like, at least keep up with these guys in the draft.
Yeah, they're pretty much a single file right now. I don't think anybody's really going to want to move because there's been enough wrecks. And we're on lap 47. Once again, Mark Montanari, Sim Racing Setup Analyzer. If you need a little help setting up your race car, because if you're like me who don't know how to set up a race car, check it out. Well worth the money.
Yeah, and I think he's offering a free 7-day trial. I think I saw on the website, didn't he?
Yep, I believe so. He's doing a fantastic job, so I want to thank him for sponsoring the season.
We got some action now on the high side here. Now they want to battle for the lead. That's Craig White with the help of the 25 of Tom McAllister. Give him the lead at the moment as they head into turn number 3. A big power move on the outside. The first people to make the outside line really work on Kevin Winter. They're still nose to tail right now, hooked up. Can they clear him as they come down the front straightaway here? Looks like Craig White's going to get the lap lead here.
Craig White, your leader. He led that lap, and they make it down in front of him. You got to be careful when you're doing that, because sometimes you might not be clear, and there goes the fastest cars in the bunch.
Absolutely. What a power move by those two guys, though. That finally somebody made that outside line work. Here comes Kevin Winter now to peek to the outside. Not so sure he was trying to make a move or just keep from running into the back of Tom McAllister right there as they head back into turn number 3. Though Craig White is your new race leader here tonight, the 3rd leader we've had here tonight. They're going to come to the line here to complete lap number 49, work on lap number 50. It's going to leave us 71 laps here to go here tonight. Not even quite halfway. We've seen a lot of guys having some issues early on, a lot of top names, big front runners having some issues as the front of the field now heads up on some lap traffic. Lap traffic's kind of staying low. Usually they go to the high side, but here they are on the low side. The field now having to go around them on the high side. So far, so good. Everybody's made it around them. Still single file for the lead as they head back into turn number 3.
Yeah, speaking of lap traffic, these guys who are a lap car, they were just involved in wrecking, just making laps, getting points. That's a big difference between the iRacing official series and a lot of these league races. The league races, you're going to see those guys have them wrecked race cars run around for the points. A lot of guys in the regular iRacing session, if they got a really damaged race car, they're just going to exit out because they're usually a little bit too upset.
And most of the time, we're glad they do.
Yes, yes.
Because typically, it's going to cause more issues. But anyway, here we go. Battle for the lead. Kevin Winter now to the outside. He saw these guys make it work. Now he wants to make it work. He's getting a push from Jeffrey Smith into turn number 3. He's going to have him. Looks like he has Craig White cleared. Is he going to drop in front, or is he going to stick with his partner to help them get there? Off of turn number 4, Jeffrey Smith still on the back bumper of Kevin Winter. They're going to get him cleared as they come up on lap traffic to the high side. Kevin Winter back to the lead here at Daytona.
Yeah, perfect timing, making that move to catch the lap traffic right at the perfect time, because if he caught the lap traffic's double file, we might have a little bit of fumbling, jumbling, and a little bit of macaroni and cheese.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Top 6 now, single file here as they head back into turn number 3. Separated themselves by quite a bit now, about a second and a half over 7th place Steve Benjamin. He's leading that second pack. That includes about 8 guys right now. So 8 cars in one pack, 6 cars in the other. We got 18 cars in the lead lap as well as the 3-car Craig White gets loose on the apron. He's way down there. Can he gather it up, stay out of the grass? It looks like he's going to be able to. But here comes the field now, full steam and nowhere to go.
Looks like they're going to check up a little bit, making the smart move instead of forcing it, because this is lap 53. We're not even halfway yet. And they got a pretty good green flag run.
Unbelievable. Steve Benjamin right there almost got into the wall. He was catching him so quickly right there. Craig White, though, he's got some help now from Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth's going to get it right on his bumper and get him back up to speed here. So pretty cool move right there by the lap car of Hollingsworth to give Craig White some help there.
Yeah, I think Benjamin actually got up into the wall maybe just a little bit or a little bit too close for comfort. But Hollingsworth's sitting in that lucky dog position, so he's going to want to try to maintain that as Ned Adams and Michael in the 09 are working together in front of him, so chances of them getting lapped is slim.
And it is with that Craig White bobble, though. It's separated our leaders now. Kevin Winter, Jeffrey Smith, they're tail to nose. They're separated by just a bit, about 0.7 of a second back to 3rd and 4th. That's McAllister and Brian Rainville. They're going to stay nose to tail. They don't want to lose any more ground. And then it's going to be almost 2 seconds back to 5th place Craig White, who last lap had trouble going through the trial. Got on the apron, got a little bit of loose. And we're lucky it wasn't a big wreck there. It could have taken out some big top contenders here in tonight's race.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, they're just kind of out in front a little bit. And the biggest thing when you're in the pack, trying to catch a group in front of you, is you don't have to be pushing. You just need to stay in a line, and you need to just try to keep going. Because in that Daytona 500, I was about 14 seconds back working with 3 cars, and we caught the pack like it was nothing. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind here at the Super Speedway with the Gen 6 cars. Every car in iRacing is different.
Yeah, we saw that earlier too. The top 6 are kind of racing around a little bit. This was a couple of runs ago, and that second pack really caught them pretty quick just because they stayed in line. So it looks like Craig White's actually making up a little bit of ground on the leaders as they run right now, just from staying in line with some help from the lap car there, the 56 of Jeff Hollingsworth. Now our front pack, who had some separation, they're now together. It's now 4-car breakaway from the field. Kevin Winter still leading that train. The 36 Jeffrey Smith and Tom McAllister in the 25, and of course the 60 of Brian Rainville has been up front. He's been a strong car all night long, really pushing Kevin Winter for the majority of this race. All those laps that Kevin's led, most of them were courtesy of the 60 car, giving him the push around this track. So he's going to be another car to watch as this race goes on, and towards the end here is the 60, and see what he can do. Maybe try to steal this win.
He's been sitting up there pretty much the whole race and doing a fantastic job. This 4-car pack are just going to just stay in line and just try to pull away a little bit more for about 2 seconds back. He is 5th place on back. Once again, check out PremierRaceNetwork.com. Their link is on our description of this YouTube video, this stream. If you're interested in joining the series, they got a Cup Series, Xfinity, Trucks, ARCA, Super Late Model, Modified, HPD, the Tudor Series, and the Daytona Prototype. If there's something you don't like here, then I don't know if you like racing. They got a lot of cars, a great group of guys. I mean, they got pretty much everything.
If there isn't a league or a series that you don't want to run in, then they have them all. So
then iRacing
if
is
you
not
can't
the
find
service.
one, then you have a problem.
Yeah, they run mainly open setups, but a lot of guys share their setups. I know Brad Walsh shared his setup that he was running in the race. I know a lot of guys will send you a baseline setup, may not give you the fast setup, but they'll give you a baseline, which is better than nothing.
Give you something to work with. Of course, if you're not that good, you can always head over to one of the league sponsors with setupanalyzer.com. That would always help, wouldn't it? Just got an emergency phone call there from our friend Ben Kilcrease, who was supposed to be here tonight. He will be here. He's still on his way. He actually ran into some car issues on his way to the track tonight, so flat tires and all. So he can join one of these crews down here on pit road, maybe, and change some tires for him. But we'll be hearing from him in a little bit. Unfortunate for him, but he will be here. But anyway, back to racing. Let's hit the line here. We're going to complete 60 laps. We're halfway home here at Daytona, the 300-mile event sponsored by Canal Fulton PC. Visit them, canalfultonpc.com. They offer many services for both home and small business. You pay too much with normal IT companies. Head over and check them out, canalfultonpc.com.
Just got some information from Chris Ostrander from Facebook. He says, I was fine, but just woke up before the race, so that might have contributed. Brian Rainville up into the wall, the number 60 car. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
I think he might have maybe just clipped the apron just a little bit. It could have been a lot worse than what it was. He's just going to lose a couple positions here. Hopefully he didn't lose too much speed. Hopefully he can get back in line right now. It's going to change the landscape just a bit. But look who was just out of it about 5 laps ago, the 3 of Craig White. Now here he is, right back to the tail end of these leaders.
Hey, we're going to get ready here. It's time to crank it up.
Love that sound these cars do. Jeez, they're so loud, especially when you get them in a tight pack like this, especially at Daytona, or even if you're at Talladega. But look at these front 2 guys here, nose to tail, really showing the way here as they head back into turn number 3. Jeffrey Smith lets off the bumper just a bit as they head into the corner. It looks like Brian Rainville was able to reel it back in. He's going to be in 6th. Hopefully he can catch that pack right there, the draft of Timothy Wallace. Looks like he'll be all right, but Craig White, we just talked about moments ago, having some issues. There he is, back up into the pack in 4th, all because he just stayed in line with everybody else, and these guys were able to catch the leaders back up. But look at Hollingsworth, doing a heck of a job there. 1 lap down, but hanging with this top pack here. He's doing a heck of a job here tonight.
Well, that's one thing you're going to see with Jeff Hollingsworth. He's hanging with that pack, and if you can get back on the lead lap, you better watch out. He's going to be a little bit dangerous.
Absolutely. Get that lucky dog. He's the only one 1 lap down right now, so he is in that position. All he needs is a caution. And the way the first half of the race went, though, you'd think, we were probably due for a caution, but now we're actually probably getting set here to do green flag pit stops here, and not too long from now as the leaders now catch back up to lap traffic. Lap traffic's going to stay on the bottom side as the leaders now all go to the high side. Oh, and the 25 of McAllister gets in the wall just a bit. Doesn't lose too much speed there, but look at the leader. And Kevin Winter, he's making up for all this lap traffic causing issues for everybody else.
Is that Matt Kenseth out there taking over the lead in the lead right now, like in the shootout last weekend?
Oh, unbelievable, huh? Jeez, I don't know. I didn't know that lap traffic was going to hold these guys up as much as they did, but must be something with the draft or the wind or something that just had those guys have to get off the gas just a little bit there, and it allowed Kevin Winter to pull away. Obviously not going to do any good for him to have a lead like that, especially at a place like this, but as the pack now starts to slowly fold him back in here.
Want to make a big shout out to Kevin Winter. After that lap led, he is going to be leader of the most laps in this race, so he'll get that extra bonus point.
It's not a bad thing. Bonus points all add up at the end. Long season, 36 races. This 2015 Cup Series here. at Premier Race Network. They follow the NASCAR schedule as everybody now here comes down to pit road. This is one of the keys. Can you slow up? You don't want to speed. Oh, and the 25, he missed the cone.
Hey, 25 missed the cone, and he's gonna. Yeah, that's a black flag penalty.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a penalty right there.
We're going to see if Timothy Wallace, Brian Rainville, and Steve Benjamin, your top three, because you take a look at Wallace on the outside of Jeff Hollingsworth. Almost got his lap back.
Almost got it back the hard way.
We're going to see if these fellows can make their way down into pit lane. We're going to go to the commit cone. They're going to stay out. We got one coming on in.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Some big keys to this race were going to be the pit stops. Getting this car from 200 miles an hour mowed down to was it 65 now? I think that race changed everything.
Yeah, they sped it on
60 miles an hour on pit road. So, you know, to get them mowed down that quick, to not skid, to not speed, to not, you know, spin the car out. We saw Tom McAllister just have issues right there with his pit stop. It's a tough feat to handle, and you know, and then now in the 94 there, Steve Benjamin just came in by himself. So hopefully he can get back out there and maybe catch up some draft tiers. Now we got some more leaders coming down. Here comes the 26. That's Timothy Wallace and the 60 of Brian Rainville.
One thing to keep in mind, a lot of these cars that are staying out right now pitted after the last caution, and the cars that have already made their pit stop, they were out on the racetrack, and they stayed out in the last caution, so it'll be about 10 laps until these cars probably make their way down pit lane.
So now that's going to move the lead to the number 11 car. It's going to put Hollingsworth back on the lead lap as he's leading the 11 of Mark Monetary. He's your leader. Chuck Sweeting's going to be running second right now as they come up on some lap traffic here off of turn number 4. That's the 300 of J. Paul Jones. Had some issues. He's 3 laps down.
Yeah, Hollingsworth right on the trying to get to the lead lap. He'll be catching some slower traffic right now.
There come all the guys that were leading. They're now trying to make their way back up into the track. Slow car on the low side. That's a 26. Timothy Wallace, he just fresh off his pit stop as these leaders come rumbling by. You can just see, just in the visual there, how fast these guys are in the draft compared to a single car by yourself. It's just amazing the difference, and they can add up pretty quick, even though the speedway is only 2.5 miles long.
Yeah, it's going to be probably about 5 laps left. 27 got loose into the wall. He's going to keep it right into the wall. That's Stacy Scott.
Great job there, hanging it into the wall. You don't want your natural instincts to pull it off the wall. When you got a snarling pack of cars coming right under you, that's the best thing to do, is just stay right up there, and he did a heck of a job there as our leader is now Chuck Sweeting. Chuck Sweeting took over the lead. It's going to give him some laps led, bonus points. Here they come off turn 4 back to the travel. They're going to stay out another lap.
Take a notice how Stacy Scott was involved in the incident. He got it in the wall and he kept it in the wall. Some people might need to take a little bit note of that.
Especially in the official series side.
Yes. Yes.
I do not know how many times I've been taken out that way. Anyway, that's the leader said back. Enough of that. Just like our green-white checker rant me and Ben talk about all the time on our broadcast. We have planes that take off. We have cars outside the track that move, but yet we don't have green-white checkers. Off of turn number 4, Chuck Sweeting's still your leader. Staying out another lap. Getting his all but earned bonus points here. Craig White trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap. Him and Jeff Hollingsworth right now, they're just ahead of the leaders.
Greg Elliott coming out of the pits, RN race reporter. Major props to Greg. He's staying out there, toughing it out, trying to get some laps, trying to get some points. He's sitting in 23rd position, so it's not like he's going to finish at like 38th, so he's going to get some more points.
That's 15 points difference right there from when he had his wreck to the point he's at now. So that just shows you staying out what it can do for you. Our leader who was in the lead, Kevin Winter, he's just ahead of these leaders right now. Showing him almost about 44 seconds behind, but that's just a formality until Chuck Speedy and the rest of these top guys come down pit road. Looks like there's still about 8 cars that still need to come down pit road to make their green flag stops, and that should be happening within the next 5 laps or so.
And keep in mind, Jeff Hollingsworth on the lead lap. If he wants a caution, he wants it right now, so he can stay on the lead lap as they get ready to make their pit stops.
Yeah, now would be a good time.
This is the time he wants.
This is the time it could happen too, like we saw with the 25 McAllister having issues getting on pit road. All it takes is one car to lock it up, spin out, get in the way, and have iRacing throw out that yellow flag.
Yeah, we're green flag, 46 laps remaining at the line. We're gonna, right now Chuck's waiting out in front, Mark Montanari, Pat McWhorter, Brad Walsh, and Jake out, rounding out your top 5.
Another guy we haven't talked about, he's up there in 6th right now, is Eddie Schneeba, Brian Sutherland, Tim Phillips. We haven't talked about any of these guys. They all started way in the back and just kind of riding around the back. They've minded their business, and here they are at the moment, running a great race here in the top 10.
Yeah, take a look at Chuck Sweeting. He won last season's 2014 championship. He's going to try to go back to back with Mark Montanari on the push. Chuck Sweeting, he is a driver for Mystery Motorsports. Pretty solid team. I guess I'm the guys I'm rooting for, my APC teammate, APC Racing teammates. I know we got Jeff Hollingsworth, who's doing a fantastic job. A couple guys that aren't in the race, but it's a lot of fun here so far.
Greg Elliott on the high side there, so the field comes storming by him, laps down. Oh, we got trouble. Looks like Winter puts a 0-0 in the wall there. As the rest of the field now comes down pit road, looks like can Chuck Sweeting get woed up? He does. Him, Hollingsworth, Montanari, they all come down pit road to get their service. I almost had a big wreck there off turn number 4.
Not quite sure. We're going to try to see if we can get an instant replay and see what happened there. We'll go a little bit further back.
A little insult to injury for the 33, our in-race reporter, Greg Elliott. Just got some contact with the 42 off of turn number 2, and he went down to the apron.
Was that
way down?
I believe that might have been Kevin Winter who just went up and hit him. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Thought he was clear, or...
Yeah, not too sure. Looks like he just ran out of real estate is all it was. Brad Walsh, your leader right now, he's still out on track. Right behind what would be the leaders as the field cycles back through. Craig White right now is leading that little pack.
You have Hollingsworth in the pits, one lap down.
Here comes the 88. Brad Walsh going to make his pit stop now.
Pit lane, a pretty busy right now. We got quite a bit of cars out there. See Brian 00, who was involved in that incident earlier, had disconnected from those.
Looks like everybody now. This should conclude our cycle of green flag stops here. We'll let iRacing revamp its thing here.
Right now you got Mark Montanari. That looks like you got the number 11, number 62 of, I believe, Chuck Sweeting. They're working together on the lead lap. Back to 5th and 4th position. Will at iRacing open it up for us and get the stats correct.
It looks like when everything cycles through, I think Chuck Sweeten and Mark Montanari really they're drafting what they did in the last 8-10 laps here. Once those guys went down pit road, really helped them out because it looks like they're going to actually have about a 3-second lead over the rest of the field.
Right now, the fastest lap that was ran in this race session is by Chris Ostrander, who is currently out of the race. The number 63 running at 44.092. And that's ridiculous. That's fast.
Yeah, it is. That's unbelievable.
That's ridiculous.
That was probably right before he got wrecked.
Yeah, probably.
That run those guys had on that outside lane, him and Elliott. That's probably right about when he got that. So, yep, looks like everything's cycled through now. 2-second lead. Chuck Sweet and Mark. Is that a tongue twister to me? Mark Montanari.
Well, Mark Montanari, it's a tongue twister, all right.
I keep wanting to say Mike. But anyway, Mark and Chuck Sweetie now. 2-second lead. They pulled out over Craig White and Kevin Winter. Kevin Winter, of course, has led the most laps here tonight. He will get that. Nobody can catch him. He's already done that in the first half of the race. Because right now we got 40 laps left to go here at Daytona.
Yeah, 40 laps remaining. We've had a green flag run for quite a long time. Been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been a great run here with all these guys. Just kind of, I guess, had to settle itself in. You know, we had 3 quick cautions early on in the race within the first 30 laps. Now we've got about 50 or so here. Off the top of my head, just thinking, we've got about 50 laps, 45, 50 laps here now with without a yellow flag. So a great job by all these drivers. And now that the field's spread out, unless something major happens, like like we have seen, some guys get loose or hit the apron, this thing could have the potential to go green the rest of the way.
Which is something that Jeff Hollingsworth don't want to see. Is the first car lap down. Mark Montanari, see Craig White, they're reeling them in. They're 1.3 seconds gap between the lead pack and 3rd, 4th, and 5th position.
That's just showing you 3 cars are faster too, I think.
Yeah, definitely. They're doing a little bit better. Doing a little bit better on the speed chart. Last lap they ran was 0.3 of a second faster.
And now they get about 3 more cars to help out with this push here. Brad Walsh, he's leading that pack with Jake Champion and Eddie Shaniva. So now you got a 6-car pack here trying to reel in our front 2 leaders with just 43 laps left to go here tonight.
I tell you one thing, I really do like Eddie's name. I think it's amazing. It sounds pretty sweet when it rolls out of you.
I think I'm saying it right. I'm probably butchering it, but
It still
I
sounds
apologize to anybody.
But yeah, it's been a pretty good race so far. We had 3 cautions in 30 laps, and then we haven't had a caution yet. So knock on wood. Chuck's waiting out in front. I want to try to take a look at it a little bit back. Pat McWhorter working with Timothy Wallace at up 26. Timothy Wallace was up in front. Not quite sure what happened to him.
I think just he's around a pit stops. He might have got caught speedy or something like that. Actually, he's not that far back, but yeah, probably just came in without a dancing partner or somebody has some issues. So now he's working with the 84, Pat McWhorter, and those guys are just trying to make up as much time as they can. Still's riding in the top 10, so decent run still going. But yeah, I think so. Just these pit stops seem to do that, Avery. You know that from racing. That just when you have long green flag runs like this, it does not take much. A couple seconds slower going down pit road than the other guy, and that just makes up probably about 4 seconds on the track. So it doesn't take much, especially when you get all these green flag pit stops.
Yeah, we just took a quick look at Tom McAllister. Tom, he's quite a ways back. He's the last car on the lead lap. But that's what happens when you kind of go into the grass when you enter the pits. We saw Kyle Larson do that a little bit today, but unfortunately in iRacing, if you do go into the grass, there will be a penalty. So too bad for him, but he's going to hope for a caution.
Yeah, if anybody needs a caution right now, it'd definitely be the 25 Tom McAllister. Of course, Jeff Hollingsworth still holding out for his caution. He's been waiting for that for about 50 laps. But doing a heck of a job trying to hang with the crowd as he's still riding around with some of these leaders, some of these front runners. So Jeff Hollingsworth definitely doing a great job here tonight.
Keep this in mind. These drivers only gonna need one more pit stop to finish this race. Some of them might be able to make that whole race, but I think the guys that stayed out in that last caution will have to make another pit stop. Looks like Chuck Sweeting falling back.
Yeah, Chuck Sweeting having some issues there. Losing the draft, had to get out, get a little bit loose there, but he's going to fall back now. Gives the lead over to Mark Montanari, Craig White, Kevin Winter, and Jeffrey Smith going to be falling behind the 88 of Brad Walsh to 5th. That's going to drop Chuck Sweeting. Was leading. Now he's back to 7th.
Big props to drivers from, let's say, 20th on back, maybe 19th on back. The drivers that are multiple laps down, just out here making laps. Like we said earlier, Greg Elliott up to the 22nd position. Look what that did for him, staying out and getting some points. If you're not going to get a good finish, you might as well try to make the most out of it. Make the most out of it. So Craig White going to try to work with Mark Montanari, Kevin Winter, Jeffrey Smith. You better watch out for those two, Winter and Smith. Maybe work their way on the outside lane.
Yeah, those guys definitely made it happen earlier on, especially when they were battling Craig White early on. Just look at Winter now looking at the outside, not really going to have anything for him this time by as they head back into turn number 3. Montanari still showing the way here. Craig White seems content to just ride behind him for the time being. As they come around, they're going to complete lap number 88 here tonight. As now Winter has a slight run now over Craig White. Not going to be able to make anything happen because Jeffrey Smith just can't get up to his bumper.
Yeah, you might be pedaling the throttle a little bit, try to maybe save a little bit of fuel out of super speedway. It's tough, but you can do a little bit. Once again, I'd like to thank some of our sponsors here today. We got a Premier Race Network. They get a lot of support from a lot of companies, like the Sim Racing Setup Analyzer, Canal Fulton PC, Pad, and multiple others. I mean, they get a lot of support from a lot of the drivers and a lot of the iRacing community. This is 10 years this league's been around, and Ed Adams, the head admin of the league, has been doing a fantastic job. And I've only done about 4 races with the league, taking the first race off to broadcast it. So they're just doing a great job.
It'd be around 10 years. We got a battle for the lead now. 3 wide off of turn number 2. Here they come. Craig White on the bottom. In the middle is Kevin Winter. To the outside is Mark Montanari. The only person got a little bit of help, though, is the 36 Jeffrey Smith. He's giving Craig White the push. That's going to bring Craig White back to the lead. Kevin Winter now going to have to fall back in the 3rd. And Mark Montanari, he's going to get shuffled out to dry here. Nobody jumping up to help. Chuck Sweeting might allow him to drop in front of him. It looks like he's going to. That's going to bring him down all the way back to 6. Shake him up just a little bit, and look what happens.
It looks like we got a newcomer down into the broadcast booth. I'm not sure if Ben's here.
He made it.
He made it.
Holy cow.
How you doing, Ben?
It was a venture to get here. I'm certainly glad that we purchased over at the Sim Racing Network our seat warmers. Because, man, my seat is nice and warm.
Did you forget how to get to Daytona? Was that the issue?
Well, I left the GPS at home thinking that we'd be able to get there off the old paper map. We're not leaving the GPS at home again.
It's 2015, my friend. Come on.
Yeah. All right, so for all the fans out there, Andy, and for me, give me a sort of a race recap. What's happened so far?
We've had a fantastic race here tonight for everybody out there. This field works around some lap cars right now. Craig White is your leader. Kevin Winters led the most laps here tonight, most of that coming in the first half of the race. 3 cautions we had early on in the first 30 laps. Since then, we've been green. We've run about 60 laps here, about 55 laps now of green flag racing. We just had some green flag pit stops. You guys are going to have to make one more before this thing's over, but I'll tell you what, we lost a lot of good top contenders early on with a couple big wrecks, man, but since then, this thing's been clean and green. We've seen the pack get split up a bunch. We've seen them all accordion back, and here they are right now, the top 8 separated by less than a second.
Working lap number 93 of 120. Maybe these guys will make up for the Boarfest Daytona 500 today. I heard it was a Boarfest. I haven't actually got to watch it yet.
You need to watch it. It was actually one of the best ones ever. So you'll actually enjoy this one. You might stay awake for it.
That sounds good.
Now, what a fantastic job all these guys are doing. Kevin Winter's been just the guy to beat all race long now. Is a little bit loose right there in the 36 of Jeffrey Smith. He gets a little bit loose. Kevin Winter gives him the room, drops back in the line. But Kevin Winter's been the guy to beat all race long, Ben. He's just been stout, leading tons of laps. Craig White's been up there, too. All these guys up front. The 88, Brad Walsh, he kind of dropped back early on, but he finds himself back in contention here.
On board with Winter in the number 22 right now. It looked like on the front stretch, Smith and Winter might have wanted to pull out a line to get around White for the lead. We'll see if they try anything this time by. They go up to the middle groove. Don't have the run they need through the tri-oval.
They don't. We've seen a lot of loose race cars tonight. Not sure if it's the wind playing a factor, these open setups, but a lot of guys loose, a lot of guys getting turned a little sideways through the tri-oval. We've seen a couple guys actually lose it on their own entering turn number 1, Ben. So it's been kind of a crazy early beginning of the race, but like I said, so far the second half of the race, these guys have just been on a mission here. We've been clean and green, and we're looking real good here to the finish.
Here comes the 88 of Walsh and the 57 of Champion. Looks like they might have wanted to step out. We got the top 3 all coming down to the pits this time, and White's going to get out broke by Smith and Smith. I don't know if he got woed down in time. If he did, it's going to be close.
It will be close. He definitely looks like Craig White's actually going slow on pit road here, but yeah, top 3 now made their way to pit road. That means it's not too much longer. You're going to be seeing these other guys. The only ones that are going to stay out quite a while are going to be Chuck Sweeting and the 11 of Mark Montanari. Those 2 guys were able to stay out about 10 more laps longer than these other guys because of the way they pitted under the caution. So here they coming out. Looks like everybody's going to make it okay.
So no penalty for the Smith machine, and White really had a slow time getting off of pit road. He is beaten by Smith and Winter by almost a full turn 1.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him to catch back up unless this field's so spread out. He might be able to catch up with somebody else, but yeah, that's going to be tough for him. That could be the mistake right there. We talked about it early at the beginning of the race with Avery and myself about keys to this race were going to be getting on and off pit road if the green flag stops happened, and being able to come down with a partner and leaving with somebody, and right there for Craig White, it ain't going to happen.
Riding on board with the 4th place position, Montanari right now. Car number 11, he's just riding in line right behind the 57 of Champion.
Yeah, Montanari and Chuck Sweet have been working great the last 15, 20 laps or so. They were able to catch the field, and what they did, being able to stay out those 10 extra laps than Winter and those other guys, they were able to actually maintain the lead that by the time they pit, they still came out as the leaders. Of course, the field was able to catch back up to them, but those guys are doing a heck of a job here tonight. We didn't talk much about any of them, with Chuck Sweeting actually starting 32nd on the field. He didn't even qualify, man, and he finds himself up here hunting for a win.
The field snaking their way around the the outside of the lap car of Lutz down the front stretch to the tri-oval. And we're slowly but surely sneaking up on that key point of the race. 20 laps to go.
There we are, just a couple more circuits around the track is all we got to do. Eddie Schneeba, though, still your race leaders. They head off of turn number 2. There's Craig White just in front of them, about to go a lap down here. If he can try to get in with this group here and maybe maintain with them, they might be able to catch those other 2 guys. Lap traffic now going to stay on the bottom side. That's a 75 machine.
Oh, that gets interesting.
Oh, yeah, it does. 3 wide there for a second with Craig White kissing that wall on the outside. Everybody able to make it around, though.
That's some professional driving right there, as Schneeba still your leader. And Craig White up on the outside, able to hang with the 3rd car in line, the 57 of Champion. Now Champion gets a slight advantage. White now 1 lap down the first car. 1 lap down, so if the caution were to fly right now, he would get the lucky dog. He's able to really get a pull, though, on the outside down the straightaways. Look at him all up there by himself.
Yeah, we've seen that happen a couple cars here. The 36 comes to mind. He did that earlier in the race, using that side draft, able to make it work. It only lasted for about 2 or 3 laps, and he found himself falling back, but ever so slowly. But look at Craig White, hang tough on that outside. It's exactly what he needed by losing the draft, the touch of those other 2 guys he came into the pits with, the 36 and the 22. So Craig White needs this right now to maintain the speed and hopefully try to gain some of that ground that he lost back.
White now side by side with the leader. He's going to try and get his lap back the hard way here at Daytona. A slight hole if he wants to fall in. No, it gets filled by the 88 machine, but White now dead side by side with the leader as we've reached 20 laps to go. 19 at the line this time for the lead pack.
Unbelievable what he's been able to do with no help at all on the outside. Bottom line's open. He falls back in line now behind the 42. The leader, Eddie Schneeba, now to the line. This time by, we're going to have 19 laps to go. I think you just said that, right?
Yeah, I just got it out of my... That's all right, though. I'll let you slide for that one. You let me slide for using the map, so I'm going to let you slide for that one. So it almost seems as if White is helping Schneeba pull away from the rest of the field, as the rest of the field starts to have 3 to 4 car lengths put between them in the air.
We've seen this too all night. Everybody kind of gets spread out, but then they fall back together like accordion style here. Product of the draft, product of the win, product of some really good driving as they come off of turn number 4. Eddie Schneeba, still your leader as he hits the line. The 88 of Brad Walsh. When are these guys going to pit? They have probably about 8 to 10 more laps till they have to pit, but are they going to pit early, or are they going to try to stay out as much as they can? Kevin Winter, who was your leader before they pit, he finds himself sitting 12th right now, 38 seconds back. He's doing a great job right now. If these guys were to pit, he should maintain that lead.
White is really helping Schneeba get away from the field. 10, 15 car lengths as they go to 3. The rest of the field is bunched back up. Now all tail to nose in a line. We'll see if they can reel the 2 guys out in front. That's the leader and the first car lap down, Schneeba and White.
Pit road's getting busy. Here comes some cars right now down. Pat McWhorter, he's one of them. Pat McWhorter to pit road. We got one in the grass. That's Timothy Wallace in the 26. We'll see if he gets a penalty. Oh, it looks like McWhorter actually went right by his box, slid right through it. Now he's got to go back. He's going to lose a ton of time right there on pit road.
That's the thing. These guys are used to running 200 mile an hour, getting down to 60 mile an hour and then stopping. It really just breaks their rhythm, and it's kind of hard to do if you only got to do it a couple times throughout the race. So that's why you see a couple of guys make mistakes on the pit stop.
Happened to Tom McAllister, the last green flag pit stop we had some 45, 50 laps ago. McAllister actually came down too hot, got in the grass, missed the commitment cone completely, had to sit for a penalty. He was running the top 4. Now he finds himself 13th place, running right now with no shot to win this thing unless we get another caution.
3rd place champion goes up the racetrack in 1 and 2. He goes from 3rd to 5th on the back straightaway. On board with champion, and he is the final car in this lead pack. Just in front of him, Sweeting, Montanari, and Walsh. And you can see that White and Schneva continue to pull away. Again, Schneva is your leader. White is the first car 1 lap down. 15 to go for the leaders.
Still gonna have to make one more pit stop. The question is, when do they do it? Off of turn number 2, Schneva, still your leader. Help from the lap car of Craig White. A big gap back to second place, almost a second to the 88 of Brad Walsh. He's getting help from Montanari. Sweeting, he's still trying to hang in there. Just counting the laps down until they have to make that final pit stop here as we hit the home stretch of this big 300-mile race here. Season opener for the Premier Race Network.
Something interesting here, Andy. Champion stepped out of line a couple laps to go to follow the back of the pack. Montanari got up right on the bumper of the 88 of Walsh, and now they have caught White and Schneva. So I think what Walsh needed was somebody on his bumper that could actually push him.
He doesn't want to lose sight because when he pits, the 42 is going to pit, so they're going to pit together, so he's got to stay with him. Looks like maybe Craig White was trying to cool the car off too. He's been nothing but plastered to that bumper of Schneva for the last 5 or 6 laps, so probably needed to cool that machine off just a bit before he overheated and blew that thing up.
So these guys continue to race around here at speeds reaching over 200 miles per hour. Schneva, your leader, 204, entering turn number 1 here at Daytona International Speedway with help from the lap down car of Craig White. 13 laps to go. Let's get to the crunch time here in the season opener.
That it is, and not much going on here. The top 5 guys are really not trying to push the issue at the moment. They all know they have to pit. They don't want to bring out a caution. It's going to bring these other guys back into the mix. Only about 4 seconds away from putting down who was the leader, the leaders, I should say, of Jeffrey Smith and Kevin Winter.
And Smith and Winter got real lucky here when they exited the pits. They found 2 other guys to sort of form a pack with. That's Wayne Grass and Fershing Jr. So those 4 cars in a line together. They're a tad bit slower than the lead pack, but I don't think it's really going to affect them too much. They're about running the same speed.
Looks like Winter's a little bit loose there through the trial. You see him wiggling a lot. Can't be out of fuel or even close to it because he just was on pit road. So. Just ahead of those guys, Ryan Rainville, he was up there in the top group too. He's just ahead of these guys. He's going to be in the mix. It's all going to be with these guys pit.
Yep. Smith 9th and Winter 10th. Rainville's going to stay to the outside and tag along to the back of this pack. How much longer until we see the lead group head to the pits? And one guy, although he's still running with the lead pack, I think this is going to affect, is going to be Craig White, because he's a little bit further behind all the guys that pitted in front of him. And on that last pit stop, he was a half a second slower. There might have been more than that, I can't remember, than the guys in front of him.
Yeah, this right now, these guys, he really needs them to stay out till they can catch Kevin Winter and Brian, but you're talking 4 seconds. These guys are going to have to pit. We got 10 laps to go, coming to 9 right now. So, I don't know, maybe these guys are trying to stretch it to the end. Well, who knows? We won't know until we run this thing out.
Phil sneaks high to give Rainville plenty of room entering the pits. He'll give up the 8th position.
It's tough for Rainville right there. He's was up front running with these leaders all race long. Qualified 7th, ran in the top 3, I'd say the majority of the race with Winter. Pushing him pushing him around the track, giving him most of his laps led. So tough to see him. Their unscheduled stop there coming back into pit road.
Coming to 8 laps to go, and as these lead pack guys close in on the final stages of this race, you almost see them practicing for the last lap. If they're in position, you see them falling back. How long is it going to take them to get a run? And if you ask me, certainly a good idea is they're going to snake high to go around the lap machine. That's certainly a good idea to go ahead and get this practice out of the way now, because it's better to go into something with practice and just wing it on the final lap. And it could end up costing you a race if you do that. And that got tied at the back of the field between Sweeting and Champion as they went around Stevenson, the lap car.
Yeah, we've been seeing that a lot lately. So I think it was the last time they went around the 75, they all had some issues there.
Yep.
Getting around him. So for some reason, I don't know if it's the air that's coming off of that car or what's going on. But anyway, here they come to the line again, this time by 7 laps to go. So we're closing in on the end of this thing. Maybe with all this draft, these guys are going to be able to hang on to this thing until the end.
That would be something.
That would be something called a win.
So if these guys are able to make it to the end, and we're not saying that they are, we're just speculating. They'll get 6 to go this time by. If these guys are able to make it to the win, we're on board with your leader. If they are able to make it to the end, Walsh got real loose.
Yeah, I saw that too.
On the inside line there. He
Puckered up
tagged
on
the
that one.
apron, yeah. Like what I was saying, if these guys are able to make it to the end, Craig White is going to play a real big factor to the finish of who wins this race. He's second car in line. He's got a couple car lengths in front of him and behind him, separating the rest of the field and the leader.
Chuck Sweeting almost just had some issues getting around the lap car just a moment ago in 1 and 2. He almost got the thing sideways there. Able to gather it up, they'll stay straight, gets a little bit of help from the Jake Champion there and gets back up into this pack.
This time by through the tri-oval edge. Schneever gonna get the high five. 5 laps to go at Daytona.
I think these guys are planning on staying out, Ben. I think they would have pitted if they knew they had to a few laps ago. So probably trying to save a little bit of fuel. And being in this draft, it's probably about the only way you're going to save any fuel here at Daytona.
I can tell you, Andy, you're racing in another league, and you know it. Going 200 mile an hour, if a guy runs out of fuel in front of you, it's not
a
the
mess.
funnest thing. Yeah.
Getting a little dicey.
Here comes Champion. He snuck around Sweeting, and now he's looking to come back up and snag his 3rd position back away. Remember, he gave it up a few laps ago, and he's on the outside of Monterey right now.
On the outside, not going to make it happen. Looks like Sweeting can't even get back up to him back on his bumper. Here comes the 88 now. He's looking for the lead. Brad Walsh, he's going to the outside. He's going to say, hey, if you want to go, I'll go. Jake Champion now trying to get back up to his bumper here. Got Craig White, lap down machine right in the middle of this thing as they head back down the straightaway.
Walsh says it's time to go. Look at the 42, weaving and bobbing, trying to break the draft. Walsh and Champion have got to run on the outside. White puts the bumper to Schneeva in 3, but now they're side by side for the lead. Coming to 3 laps to go at Daytona. Trouble! White gets to the Champion. He spins. No, Champion keeps it straight for the most part, and we stay green.
We stay green. They hit the line right there. 3 laps to go. Side by side for the lead. It's Brad Walsh on the outside. The 42 of Ed Schneeva on the inside. Here comes Montanari. Montanari, he's going to be the difference maker. Who's he going to push? He stays to the bottom side now. Gives Ed Schneeva a run. Here comes now the 88's falling back. He's going to have to drop back in line and not lose the draft. Here they come. Tail to nose. The top 3 down the backstretch.
Montanari to the bumper of Schneeva, pushing him around Daytona. Lap traffic just ahead, and it's a couple of guys. 2 laps to go. The lap traffic, one goes to the outside. Now he's going to come back to the inside. They both go to the outside. Popsicle sticks out the flag stand. The final 2 laps. 5 miles here at Daytona.
5 miles now. The 88 of Brad Walsh has kind of lost touch with 11 of Montanari and Ed Schneva. Schneva now off into turn number 1. Got the lead. Does Montanari have anything for him as they exit turn number 2? 1.5 laps still left to go here at Daytona. 300 miles, and it comes down to this.
I wouldn't count out Walsh. He might be in the catbird seat. If these guys get side by side in front of him, it's going to punch a huge air, and he might come out of here as the winner. This time by, off turn number 4. We're only one more circuit away to deciding who's going to go home a winner at Daytona. The final lap begins at Daytona.
Off into turn number 1. It's a 3-car battle now. 4th place, Chuck Sweeting is nowhere in sight. Here comes Walsh now, peeking the nose to the outside. Doesn't have a run. He's going to have to fall back in line. Montanari, he's all over the back bumper of that 42 car, Ed Schneva. Here at Daytona, it comes quick off turn number 4, that tri-oval, lap traffic, out of sight. Here they come into turn number 3 for the final time, and Schneva in the lead.
Walsh is too far back. Montanari's gonna step out if he wants to be a winner at Daytona. Final time coming through the tri-oval. Montanari steps out. They make a little contact. Schneeva's loose. Side by side. Who got it?
Schneva barely.
21 thousandths of a second. Ed Schneva picks up the victory here at Daytona. Andy, can you blink that fast?
What? Did I miss something?
Wow, what a race coming down to the finish line. He all but wrecked that car entering the tri-oval, but was able to save it and still win here at Daytona International Speedway. Ed Schneva.
Unbelievable. I thought for sure those guys had a pit again, but I guess I got to redo my, I think my calculator's broken. Something's wrong with this thing. But
bad thing is I let him crew cheat for me in another league.
Yeah, but we got wins, man.
That's true.
They never came down to fuel mileage, that's why.
Ed Schneva gonna get a congratulatory bump maybe from Walsh, and he's gonna burn him down on the front straightaway. Ed Schneva, your winner tonight here at Daytona International Speedway. Man, what an exciting couple of last laps. Craig White heard on the radio he said he might have blown a tire, which is what caused the incident with he and Champion coming to the 4 to go.
Champion able to hang on to it, though. Still finished 4th. Chuck Sweeting gets a top 5, so a good run for him. But a lot of these guys, I'll tell you one guy that's probably not too happy. Maybe his pitch strategy just went out the window, but that was Kevin Winter, Jeffrey Smith. Those two guys were poised to get this thing done here tonight. Just had to make that one extra pit stop.
Still a good winner, a good finish for Smith and Winter. Andy Kessler has made his way to pit road, and he's found the driver of the number 88 who finished 3rd tonight, Brad Walsh.
That's right. I'm down here talking to Brad Walsh, driver of the number 88. Brad, solid run tonight. You started towards the front of the field. You started, well, obviously towards the front. You had trouble on the opening initial start. It looked like you fell back. Was that a plan of yours, or is that just how things kind of rolled?
This is how things kind of rolled. I went to the back thinking there'd be a wreck earlier in the race, and there was. Luckily, I got through it, but other than that, the car was perfect all night. Made a couple changes to snug it up a little bit. Found out it snuggled up too much. Took that back out, and then I went hard at the end. I knew I just had enough gas at that last pit stop, and I went hard. Tried to save some the whole run just to make sure I have plenty, but I finished the line with 0.7 gallons left. I should have gone a little bit harder.
Now, you said you tightened the car up as the race went on. We noticed a couple guys actually kind of lose it going into turn 1 on their own. You think it was product of the wind, or you think just everybody was kind of battling that loose condition all night?
Well, we gotta run our car very free in this to keep the car on the bottom and keep the momentum up. Trying to keep the momentum up the bottom. You gotta run the car free. You would just be so slow, but you just had to bog the front end down. You would lose all your speed. So first pit stop I had is the wedge. Didn't like that. So that next pit stop I had is the front tire pressure to help that entry, and it's just perfect after that. Just perfect.
Well, that's good. It definitely was perfect. You brought yourself home a top 3 finish here tonight. Anybody you'd like to thank for this one?
I just want to say, I want to give out one thing. I do want to thank our United States military for what they do for our country. And I definitely want to put a post out for Chris Cow, a hero of this country that deserves everything he did for the country. It should have been awarded a Medal of Honor, in my opinion, but I won't go into that. But just treat my service members overseas, keep them safe from terrorist attacks and stuff, and hopefully ISIS don't come home to kill us.
Well, there you go. Definitely agree with you 100%. So, congratulations, Brad, on a fantastic run.
And I just want to say congratulations to my teammate Eddie Seaver for the win. Just congratulations to him. He won't be here all season, but he deserves that win. He ran my setup and I loved it also. So I know a lot of people in the race server had my setup, so glad I could put a fast setup this week.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. Good way to start the season off here. Third place finish, and congratulations.
Yep, thank you. Can't wait till Atlanta next week.
There he is, second place or third place finisher, Brad Walsh, and I believe Ben, you've caught up with second place finisher.
Yeah, give me the hardest name in the field. Mark Montaneri. Hope I got that right. Finishes second tonight here at Daytona International Speedway. 2/100th short, Mark.
Yes, that was a very close one, but man, what a fun race and a good start to the PRN season.
I actually got lost on the way to Daytona and listened to this. I was using one of those old maps, paper maps, so I got here for the final 40 laps, and you guys put on a show. I heard there was some good racing early on, some cautions early on. Talk about the remaining couple laps of the race. We saw a bunch of guys, or what I thought they were trying to do as a driver myself. Thought the guys were trying to make a practice move on how good the car would suck up to the back end of the other car, or how when they had to make their move. Were you practicing your last lap move at any point of the race?
Yeah, actually, a couple of times I did see how fast I would be able to suck up on someone else, but for the last 35 laps, honestly, we were saving fuel.
You guys certainly, you had Andy baffled up here in the booth. You had me baffled. We thought you guys would have to peel off and make another pit stop. And Jeffrey Smith, Kevin Winter was probably hoping you guys would too. But Mark, you come home second tonight. Like you said, a good way to start off the season. You go on to Atlanta next week. Who do you want to thank for putting you here runner-up tonight at Daytona?
I absolutely have to thank Premier Race Network and my sponsor, SetupAnalyzer.com.
There you have it, Andy. Mark Montaneri comes home second tonight. And the guy who started 27th is standing now in victory lane with you.
That's right. I'm down here in victory lane, soaked Eddie Snerva. Eddie, man, we heard from your teammate who finished third. You guys ran pretty much identical setups. I said you guys loved him all race long. It showed with the finishes. But he says you're not going to run a full season, but you might as well go out with a bang, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I swear I'm up here with the calculator punching numbers, I'm like, these guys got to pit. They're going to be a couple laps short. They got to pit, and I'm thinking, oh, they're going to pit with 10 to go, give them some time to, if they need to reel these guys back in or not. And then lap after lap kept going by, and you guys saved enough, and you found yourself in a wicked battle there with Mark in the 11 car right at the end there. Walk us through those last couple laps.
Yeah, once we got out and got up to the lead pack, I just wanted to save as much as possible, and then I was talking with my teammates, and one of them said, he's like, dude, you're good, go. And so that's when I made my way up to the front, and that last lap with Mark, man, coming off of 4, I thought he was going to get me for sure, and I didn't want to put him in the wall. I wanted to finish clean, and we rubbed, and I got squirrely. I didn't know if I was going to save it, and came across the line. That was awesome.
Yeah, you guys made contact, and I kind of held my breath like, yeah, all right, they kept it straight. Man, you guys did a heck of a job hanging on to it. We talked a little bit to the other guys about the cars being real loose. Obviously, you got to run them loose to be fast, otherwise it bogs the cars down. But we saw a bunch of guys have some issues early on that a couple of guys actually got loose and turned themselves by themselves going into turn number 1. So talk about that fine line that you guys really have to run to be fast here.
Well, we worked on them all week, and it was really hot for the race, and so probably 20 minutes before the race, we made a change to tighten them up a little bit, and I'm glad we did because we could actually maneuver in traffic that way. And it was just about saving fuel till we had enough and getting there. But yeah, they were really loose in practice, and I knew we had to tighten up a little bit for the race.
Well, that's awesome. You're not running a full season, but you start off the season with a win. Who do you want to thank for this great performance tonight?
Oh, first I want to thank Premier Racing. That was the best series I've raced with in iRacing since I've come on, and thanks to my teammates Brad and Brian and Brent for getting me into the league, and Ned for putting it on.
Sounds great. Well, here he is, your big winner at Geneva. 300 miles, and you did it. Came down to the 2/100ths of a second. Congratulations again on the big win.
Hey, thank you very much.
Well, there you go, Ben. Those were our top 3 finishers tonight. And now we got word here. We got series director, the guy who runs the whole show here, Ned Adams. Ned, welcome. What a fantastic way to start the season.
Yeah, we had a really good field and all members. Our top 3 series are members only. It's a good start. I'm hoping we're going to have the same type of show at Atlanta. A little less cautions would be nice. And I got caught up in, I guess, one of them there in the beginning and had to run around trying to get points, save as much as I could for to go out after the chase again this year.
Yeah, a bunch of guys had to, and with a big field like this, you had no choice. You had to go out and run some laps, damage or not. And you ended up finishing 18th, which obviously, if you didn't, you probably would have been in the 30s somewhere. So, looking back on it towards the end of the season, those 12 points might come in handy. So, but yeah, you know what? 3 cautions, they all came fairly early, but after that, it seemed like everybody really settled in, and they put on a heck of a show, and it even came down to fuel mileage at the end.
Yeah, we have quite a few of them run green during the year, so I always look forward to getting to the real tracks. These ones here are kind of a, as far as I know, like a crapshoot. You got to depend on everybody else, and if somebody has a mistake, it's going to cost some people some positions, and yeah, it caught me there. Like I said, I saw Kevin up on the high line and wanted to give him a little push towards the front and see if we couldn't get up, and something got us. So I'll have to take a look at the replay with the admins later and see exactly what needs to be worked on.
Yeah, overall, I think everybody put on a heck of a show, and some fantastic racing, a great finish, and a great way to start out the 2015 season. Now, 36 race season, you're going to follow the NASCAR schedule, 10 race chase at the end. It looks good. Everything looks good right from the start. And if next week at Atlanta is anything like tonight, I think you guys are going to have a fantastic run here at the start of the season.
Yeah, we follow exactly what NASCAR does. So the chase is broken down into 3, 3, and 3, and then the final race for the championship. Chuck picked it up last year. Heck of a racer. He's got himself up in contention to go for pro whenever I think he wants to put himself there. He'll be there. And we're sponsoring this year. We just completed the deal, and we'll be sponsoring Taylor Hurst in the Peak Antifreeze series. So that's something to look forward to. We have some really good sponsorship in place. Take us through the year. NPR Setup Analyzer with Mark Martineri. Clicking with Canines. Their dog training. Very good sponsor. They're doing the Clean Driver Award in 2015. A10 Hawaiian Ice, who takes care of our team speak. We have A to Z Home Improvements, which hosts all the B-Class Xfinity Series races in 2015. And of course, last but not least, PAD, People Against Distracted Driving, who we're going to have several special events Probably coming up shortly in the next month or so. We're going to start one of about 5, I believe, and we're going to have also another league involved, KMA, that'll be joining us for those special event races. And Canal Fulton PC, a long-time supporter of the PRN, they have been hosting our website since 2007. Two brothers that raced with us, and the one that owns the company kept on hosting and is doing a great job. And even though they're retired from driving, they still keep an eye out for us.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I heard earlier from Avery, you guys have been around for about 10 years or so, and in a realm like this as sim racing and all the different changes and the different people and the different personalities to be this strong and this going for this long, it's a credit to your organization. It's a very proud thing to be a part of, and we thank you for letting us do this for you.
Hey, and I want to thank you guys for coming in and doing this. It was very short notice. We just got the offer that Avery was going to put the broadcast up, and then we started looking around for broadcasters, and you came highly noted. So we were like, okay, let's try this and see how it works. And I was looking at the broadcast while doing laps, and it looked very professional. And thanks again for coming in and taking it on. And it's our 11th year. We just completed our 10th year last year.
Oh, okay.
Oh, don't make me blush.
Yeah, that's still awesome. That's awesome. So congratulations on that for yourselves.
Yeah, couldn't have been done without all the admins. I mean, Timothy Wallace, he's been with us since 2004. Pat McWhorter, 2005. Brian Rainville, 2004. And there's some I'm just not remembering, but we've had a good, strong core group since 2004, and worked our way up and kept on plugging along. Even when the times get tough, we kept our nose to the grindstone and built it to what it is. Everybody in here has the respect of all the drivers, and that's the way we like it. We don't like to have people beating and bashing and knocking like in the open room. So that's why we built this and why we work so hard to keep it going.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it again. Congratulations on a great season opener, and hopefully the rest of the season is just as good for you guys.
I'm pretty sure it will be there. Like I said, we're probably going to get out of here and go and watch the replay of this and with the admins and make sure that everything was working fine. And if there's anything that we need to bring up to the drivers, we'll be doing so before Atlanta. But it was a good race and great broadcast. Thanks a lot, guys.
Anytime. Well, there he is. There's Ned Adams, owner, head honcho, whatever you want to call him, right, bud? That's the guy. You want anything to do with PRN, Premier Race Network, that's the guy to get a hold to. A great facility, a great corporation, if you want to call it, that they got going over here and working on their 11th season. So congratulations to them on that. That's a pretty good milestone.
Yeah, 11 years, like you said, in the world of sim racing is a long time to be around.
That's like 30 years in real life.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like dog years,
Tonight,
right?
Yeah. Tonight's racing action, Ned went over it, I'll go over it again, was brought to you by Canal Fulton PC. They offer many services for both the home and small business in Stark, Summit and Wayne counties in Ohio, and even further, specializing in supporting the small businesses that are often overlooked and overpriced by IT companies and website developers, serving the community for 7 years. That is Canal Fulton PC. You can find them at canalfultonpc.com. This race was also co-sponsored by PAD, People Against Distractive Driving. You can find them at www.padd.org. Some other league sponsors that he also went over, but we'll go over again because they're very big supporters. The NPR Setup Analyzer. You can visit them at setupanalyzer.com. It's the ultimate tool for setup diagnosis, and you also get a free 7-day trial. Clicking with Canines are their sponsor for the PRN Clean Driver Award in 2015. Correction-free, science-based, and fun training methods you and your dog will enjoy. A10 Hawaiian Ice sponsors the PRN Team Speak, where the broadcast was, where the audio for the broadcast comes to tonight. They are the sponsors for the TeamSpeak in 2015. Look for them at all your local events. A to Z Home Improvement sponsors the PRN B Class Series in 2015. And you know it, Andy. Back over at the Sim Racing Network and the league that we race in, you can't do all the stuff that you see, these big races, the broadcast, the special events, and all the works without the loyal sponsors that come to you and want to sponsor your league or your race or your broadcast, etc.
Absolutely. My favorite one tonight was A10 Hawaiian Ice. You were late, so I ate it all. So
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Yeah, I see the empty cup. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. You know what?
Maybe next time for you.
I'll go buy the NPR setup analyzer, and I won't let you use it not once.
That's all right. I don't like setups. I still wouldn't know how to fix it.
Let's look at the final finishing results for tonight. There's a lot of drivers, so bear with us. Eddie Sneva, let me try that. Eddie Sneva comes home with the win tonight, 21 thousandths. Right behind him was the number 11 of Mark Montanari. Then it was Brad Walsh coming home third, Jake Champion, Chuck Sweeting, Tim Phillips, Jeffrey Smith, Timothy Wallace, and Pat McWhorter are your top 10.
Coming home 11th was Brian Sutherland. Brian Rainville finishes 12th, 13th to Steve Benjamin. Tom McAllister 14th. Jeff Hollingsworth finished 15th. Wayne Grass finished 16th. John Frisching Jr. finished 17th. Ned Adams 18th. 19th to Craig White. And Michael Collini finishes 20th.
J. Paul Jones comes home in 21st, Greg Elliott 22nd, 23rd, Andrew Lunch, 24th, Blair Stevenson, 25th was Brian Warfel. Stacy Scott comes home 26th, Richard Stallings 27th, Mark Mosso comes home in 28th, Frank Soppin 29th, and Chris Ostringer comes home 30th.
31st went to Brett Lee. Kevin Linden finished 32nd, 33rd to Jack Watts, 34th to Kerlin Andrew. 35th went to Sam Carpuzos, 36th to Michael Adams, 37th to Jeffrey Bratton, 38th to George Gollin, 39th to Fred Scafari. Mike Costa finishes 40th, and John Hammer rounds out the field in 41st.
A big field, a big race, and a fun night here with the Premier Race Network. And of course, visit them at PremierRaceNetwork.com. Andy, final thoughts from Daytona.
It was a fantastic race. Couple cautions early, split the field up, knocked out some real big contenders, I think, that would have been there at the end. And then at the end, it came down to fuel mileage, and these guys put on a great show and a fantastic finish, to say the least, in the final. So overall, fantastic way to start out the season for these guys. And just to think they only got 35 more to go.
Yep, and I hope they'll have us back along the ride for a few of those. I really enjoyed the couple laps I got tonight. I'll bring the GPS next time, and hopefully you'll save me some of that Hawaiian.
Try to.
For Avery McDonald, he was getting the picture that you see to you from the Sim Racing Network. He's Andy Kessler. I'm Ben Kilcrease. Have a great night, and we'll see you at Atlanta Motor Speedway next week. Remember, put the phone down.